Sarah felt a surge of determination as Sergeant Rodriguez dismissed her request, his pen scratching across the form like a final judgment. She wasn't about to let one man's outdated views derail her dreams. "Sergeant," she interjected, her voice steady but edged with resolve, "I know the Army has integrated women into combat roles since 2016. I've read the regulations. Women are eligible for sniper school if they meet the standards. I'm not asking for a handout, I'm asking for a fair shot." The sergeant paused, his smile fading into a thoughtful frown as he met her unwavering gaze. He set down his pen and sighed, rubbing his temples. "All right, Miss Martinez. You've got spunk, I'll give you that. But understand this, basic training will test you first. If you excel there, and I mean top of your class, you might get a recommendation for advanced infantry training, and from there, sniper school. It's a long road, and the dropout rate is brutal." Sarah nodded, her heart racing with a mix of relief and anticipation. "That's all I need, Sergeant. A chance." As she signed the enlistment papers, she envisioned the grueling months ahead, the pre-dawn runs, the obstacle courses that would push her body to its limits, the marksmanship drills where she'd prove her precision under pressure. Weeks later, at Fort Benning, Sarah arrived for basic combat training, her duffel bag slung over her shoulder amid a sea of recruits. The drill instructors barked orders, and the Texas heat bore down like an unrelenting foe, but Sarah thrived. She outshot most of her male counterparts on the rifle range, her grandfather's lessons echoing in every steady breath and trigger squeeze. Whispers spread among the platoon, some mocking, others admiring, but Sarah ignored the noise, focusing on the mission. By graduation, she had earned the expert marksmanship badge and a commendation from her commander, who pulled her aside. "Martinez, you've got what it takes. I'm recommending you for the U.S. Army Sniper School." The journey to Fort Benning's sniper course was even more intense, 5 weeks of stalking through dense forests, mastering camouflage, calculating windage and elevation in pouring rain, and enduring sleep deprivation that blurred the line between reality and hallucination. Doubts crept in during those endless hours prone in the mud, but Sarah pushed through, drawing on her discipline and the memory of her grandfather's stories from Normandy. On the final qualification day, under a stormy sky, she lay hidden in the underbrush, her M24 sniper rifle steady as she acquired her target at 1,000 yards. The shot rang out, true and lethal, a bullseye. As she stood among the graduates, one of only a handful of women to ever complete the course, Sergeant Rodriguez's words echoed faintly, now a distant memory. Deployed to a forward operating base in the Middle East, Sarah became known as Ghost, her call sign a testament to her unseen precision that turned the tide in covert operations. She saved lives, protected her team, and proved that strength wasn't defined by gender but by unyielding will. Back home, her story inspired a new generation of women to challenge barriers, reminding the world that heroes come in all forms. And as Sarah looked through her scope one last time before rotating out, she knew her grandfather would be proud she had honored the weapon, and herself, with every disciplined pull of the trigger. Sarah also made a mental note of something her grandfather had told her years ago, a quiet mantra etched into her soul from those sun-dappled afternoons at the range: "The bullet doesn't care who pulls the trigger, only that it's true," words that had carried him through the mud of Europe and now fueled her resolve as she dove into a grueling pre-basic regimen, waking before dawn for 5-mile runs through the dusty Texas trails, her lungs burning like the desert sun, push UPS and pull UPS. Building sinew where doubt once lingered, while evenings blurred into study sessions poring over field manuals on ballistics, camouflage, and survival tactics borrowed from Chuck's dusty shelves, her notebook filling with diagrams of wind charts and elevation adjustments, each page a step toward silencing the laughter that still echoed in her ears. Months flew by in a haze of sweat and precision, and when the day came to ship out to Fort Jackson for basic training, Sarah stood tall among the recruits, her gear packed with purpose, ignoring the sidelong glances from fellow enlistees who whispered about the girl with the big dreams, as drill sergeants bellowed commands that tested every fiber of her being. The endless marches with 40-pound rucksacks digging into her shoulders, the obstacle courses where she scaled walls and crawled under wire with mud caking her face, her body screaming but her mind unyielding, drawing on Grandpa's tales of endurance to push through the gas chambers choking haze and the live fire exercises where her shots rang out cleaner than most. She excelled in weapons qualification, earning the nickname Eagle Eye from a grudgingly impressed instructor, her scores topping the platoon and earning her a spot in advanced individual training for infantry, where the real crucible began, urban combat simulations and night maneuvers honing her instincts, all while facing the subtle barbs from male trainees who tested her with extra gear or late night hazing. But Sarah met each challenge with quiet ferocity, forming unlikely alliances with those who saw her skill over her gender, like Private Ramirez, a burly farm boy who became her spotter in mock ops, admitting over MREs that she'd saved his simulated ass more than once. Word of her prowess trickled up the chain, and when the recommendation for U.S. Army Sniper School arrived, it felt like vindication. The 7-week gauntlet at Fort Benning a blur of ghillie suits and gnat-infested hides, learning to stalk like a shadow through Georgia's swamps, calculating mil-dot reticles under torrential rains, enduring the long walk with a 50-pound pack across miles of unforgiving terrain, her body battered but her aim unwavering, outlasting recruits twice her size who washed out in tears or exhaustion, until that final shot in the qualification range, a 1,200-yard cold bore hit that sealed her certification as one of the elite, the patch on her uniform a badge of honor that no recruiter could deny. Deployed to Afghanistan's rugged peaks, Sarah became Viper, her call sign whispered in awe by her unit, providing overwatch that neutralized threats before they struck, saving patrols from ambushes with single, silent rounds that echoed her grandfather's wisdom, earning the respect she demanded not through words but deeds, medals pinned in ceremonies where Sergeant Rodriguez's face flashed briefly in her mind, a ghost of doubt dispelled. Years later, rotating home as a decorated staff sergeant, Sarah mentored young female recruits at the same Texas office, her story a legend that shattered ceilings, inspiring a wave of women to aim high, while she visited Grandpa's grave with her sniper rifle slung over her shoulder, whispering thanks for the belief that had armed her against the world, knowing that true warriors forge their path not with force, but with unbreakable spirit, her journey a testament that dreams, like bullets, fly true when guided by heart and hand. But it was on the rifle range where Sarah truly began to distinguish herself, her fingers steady on the M4 carbine as the first rounds cracked through the Georgia air, each shot clustering tightly in the bullseye at 300 meters, drawing murmurs from the platoon and a narrowed gaze from Drill Sergeant Williams, who barked corrections at fumbling recruits but paused when Sarah's target came back pristine, her breath control and trigger discipline honed from a decade under her grandfather's watchful eye, turning what others saw as luck into calculated precision. As qualifications progressed to advanced drills, pop-up targets simulating enemy combatants, stress shoots after exhausting PT sessions, and night firing with iron sights, Sarah's scores soared, topping the platoon and earning her the informal title of Sharpshooter Martinez, though not without pushback from a few resentful trainees who muttered about favoritism, only to be silenced when she volunteered to coach them. Breaking down fundamentals like sight alignment and wind calls until their own groupings tightened, forging bonds in the crucible of shared struggle. One pivotal day, during a live fire exercise gone awry with a simulated ambush, Sarah's quick thinking saved a mock casualty by providing covering fire that allowed her squad to evacuate, her calm under chaos impressing even the skeptics, leading Drill Sergeant Williams to pull her aside afterward with a gruff nod. "Martinez, that note in your file wasn't bullshit, you've got the eye, but sniper school's a different beast, keep this up, and I'll recommend you myself." Graduation loomed like a beacon, Sarah crossing the parade ground with her platoon, her uniform crisp and her chin high as she received the infantry blue cord, her family's proud faces in the crowd including Grandpa's tearful salute, but the real triumph came with the orders-in-hand assignment to the U.S. Army Sniper School, where the true gauntlet awaited. 7 weeks of hell in the swamps and hills, ghillie-suited stalks through thorn-choked underbrush, enduring biting insects and blistering heat while maintaining invisibility, mastering the art of the long shot with the M2010 enhanced sniper rifle, calculating ballistics equations in her head for 1,500-yard engagements amid gusting winds and shifting mirages, her body pushed to breaking with ruck marches and sleep deprivation that blurred days into delirium, yet her resolve unbreakable, outlasting washouts. Who crumbled under the mental strain, on the final stalk, hidden in a hide site for 36 hours, Sarah A.